Hello youngsters, this is the screenplay to possibly one of my favourite films ever, Withnail I. Extraordinary film, gets better with age, and what makes it so good is the script, basically, which was written by the director, Bruce Robinson, first time director, didn't really know what he was doing, but the story, the characters are just unbelievable. And as an actual screenplay, as a book, this reads really well. Most screenplays for famous films, it's the film on paper. This, there they are, the two boys, two actors go on holiday by mistake. Even this, just the setups, you know, sort of just like camera here, this over there. It's sort of page one. In big letters as the solo begins, principal titles will continue over this room. Despite the squalor, the room is furnished with antiques, heirlooms and other quality stuff. An indescribable melange of stuff crowds a low table. Dostoevsky described hell as perhaps nothing more than a room with a chair in it. This room has several chairs. A young man sits in one, and on and on. It also has little bits and pieces that didn't make the final cut of the film. How many more maniacs out there, nurturing their turnips, living in greenhouses with paranoid cats terrified by the sonnets of the bard? Possibly thousands. Doesn't matter. If you know the film, great. So you'll know the intonation and the voice of, say, Danny the dealer. But it's the way it flows, his descriptions, the setup. If he hadn't directed this film himself, another director could have picked this up, and just following the descriptions. A fight in the bed begins. Little to see but two heads and a muzzle and a heap of writhing blankets. This is not normal script writing. So possibly one of the greatest films ever made, Withnail I, and the screenplay alone is worth it. And as a sideline, I got a job once in television. I was chatting to the guy who gave me the job, and he once asked me, he said, well, what makes a good bit of telly or whatever? And I told him I'd seen Bruce Robinson do a Q&A, and he was asked that same question, and he just said, the script, the script, the script. You could have all the money and the most famous actor in the world, but unless you've got, you know, a good story, a good script, none of it works. And the guy looked at me in this interview, and he just went, Monty, you terrible, one of the key lines. We then traded lines from Withnail I for about 10 minutes. And it's the only job interview I've ever been to. Well, I just knew before I even left the room, I have this job. So Withnail I, a very special place in my heart.